Do not watch the news. Avoid it. Avoid the news because the news is like the foam on the tops of the waves. It is just the fermented sludge that it is bringing up for all to see. It's not that. It is not. There is not some benefit to knowing what is going on around you and what's going on in the world. And it is not that it's not good to be informed and aware of things. And you thought, well, maybe at one time the news was the news. Oh, my dear, my dear, my dear, my dear, my dear. News has always come from a perspective. Because there is always a deciding about, and always has been, as to which news story to bring it forward, to tell about. Which way what are we going to look at this time? Sometimes there is an obvious thing. Okay, there's a big thing that's happening here, or a big thing that's happening there, and everybody's thinking, and we'll talk about it. But in the time space where you are at present, there has been, okay, let me explain it this way. If you went back 100 years ago, let's go 150, let's go back. If you go back from where you are now, go back to 150 years ago in that space, their people's understanding and knowledge about stuff might be something in a newspaper. But usually what they knew of the world was relegated to what was going on around them. There were a few people who traveled far and would carry a story. By the time you had traveled far enough to bring the story from far away to there, that what had been happening then was over with. So people lived their lives in their own little sphere bubbles of where they personally could travel, interact, or maybe get a letter. But even letters took a long time. And in some ways you can say, because of that, that the people were limited in their knowledge and understanding of things. But because of that, there was also a truer, there was more diversity, actually. Because if this community had their limited knowledge and they made choices and it could be very different from another community or another community, because they were not all of the same mindset. There was more, and even the schools. You would have little one-room schools and they would teach a little bit, but there was more diversity, more individuality. And once televisions became part of your society, it was seen as a great way to control the values and ideas of people and influencing the way they saw things and interacted with things and people and situations. And they colored things. And you could see this by the kinds of shows that were shown, especially to children, and the values that were shown to children, and what was expected of those children. And as children grew up, they either held too strongly the ideas which they had been fed. It's like all the children of the country saw the same shows. They heard the same people tell them the same news and the same information. Not true. Their parents and their communities may have had added viewpoints. But there was a homogenizing of things. So that there were viewpoints that were carefully orchestrated and brought through society as to how to view everything. And some people felt very safe with that because they were told, if you hold to this viewpoint, you will be safe. You will be good. Look how peaceful everything will be. And anyone who has ideas outside of this are dangerous and bad and will harm you. And there were very definite messages sent through and the television at a certain time. Now, you may say that now at this particular time that there with the internet and cable television that there are many different viewpoints that can be seen and shows that can be seen. There's many more shows to choose from. You do not have to watch just the same shows. That is not all that is available. And you can hear from individuals all over the world. And the problem is, my dear, there were already basic templates laid out for humanity. And they, through their religions, through their schools, through their societies, because rather than children growing up and being heavily influenced by their parents, now from the time they were mere infants, very young, they were in care facilities that were orchestrated to make the children to limit their expansiveness and to keep it more in line with what society expects. They said that, we're giving them more information, but they're just giving them all the same information, and they're overwhelming them with mindless, needless information, and not allowing them to have their expansiveness in their own divinity. And this has become, and then when the parents are able to get their children, they are so tired and so overwhelmed, they still have to do so much stuff that they do not have. They just want to have some downtime, just have some quiet time. And so they turn the television or they turn the computer, and they are not influencing and guiding and exploring with their children beyond their divinity. They are, all their energy has been given to their taskmasters, and they have nothing left. They have nothing left. And the children are so overwhelmed with so much schooling and extracurricular activities and being part of this and being part of that they are so worn out. They have nothing left with which to explore their own divinity. And their basest elements are what comes forward. And they're tired, and they're frustrated, and they're moments of not being able to have any peace. They just lash out, and their baseness comes out, and their fears comes out, and their anger come out, and they have to lash out. So they find someone to blame, and they find some ideal to uphold. They think that they have that ideal held somehow. They feel somehow their lives will be better. Their lives of their children will be better. The hopes of their divinity that's still crying out to them will be realized just a little bit if they can just get rid of whatever they see as blocking their way. And so their news, will cater to them. Because if the news just gave you everything, it's just flat information, and all the flat information, then all these ones that are tired and frustrated and angry, they wouldn't want to watch that news. That's boring. I don't like that information. They want to have the information that tells them these are the bad guys and these are the good guys. And we're going to be the good guys, and we have to fight against the bad guys because fight. Yes, that's who you are. They are. You are just all fighters. And that is what you want to. You're so angry at everything around you. You want to fight against something, so let's fight against these ones. And that is what the news does. It just feeds to the basis parts of us. So, it is okay to know the weather that's coming and going and what's going to come around. And if there's somebody who has faced a difficult situation and you want to do so you can help them and support them, this is good. If there is something that you're interested in is going to be an event, this is good to know. Oh, okay, there's going to be a air balloon festival coming up on these dates. Oh, that's nice to know. That's nice to know. That's nice to know. How lovely. Oh, it's going to have really bad weather on this day and the temperature is going to change dramatically. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. That's good to know. Oh, there's going to be a concert here, or there's going to be some sort of conference here. That's something that you're interested in. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I want to know. Those things are good to know. Those things are news. If you want to know, not political stuff, but if you want to know, these people on the other side of the world are facing a drought. They need help. Okay. How can we help them? How can we support them? Oh, this person has just discovered something new. Oh, that's lovely. That's the kind of news. That's the kind of news. Not anything that you would find on any agency that would call themselves news. No matter who they are. Even if they bring you information that other people aren't telling you. No. Because if you hear their news and after you hear it, you feel really angry and determined to fight against somebody or to stand up for don't watch that channel anymore. Don't watch it anymore. Don't come back to it anymore. Just turn it, say nope, block it, whatever you need to do. If they are telling you these people are bad, their ideas are bad, and we have to stand up for what we know is better, don't listen to them. Don't have anything to do with them. It is trivial. It is the foam on the tops of the waves. It is not the waves. It is the foam on top of the waves. And it's icky and full of gunk. And it will not benefit you. I am realigning the divinity of all. Of all. And you may see, it may seem to you that the sky looks brighter, or the trees look vibrant, or the grass looks iridescent, and you're like, ooh, look how beautiful that is. The air feels like this. I am realigning all to the divinity. I am realigning all to the divinity. You are going to see opportunity presenting itself to everyone. And you will see a lightening and a brightening. But you will also see those who are determined to remain in the distortions, that will continue to fight even harder as they feel there are those who are, and it does not matter how they got there. It is many and varied reasons. But they have aligned themselves to a certain distortion. And they have found others that have also have a similar alignment to these distortions. And as they personally feel the twinges and realigning coming on, rather than going and following their own divinity, they will pull themselves back, and they will try to pull anyone else back into the distortion that they see moving away from it. And I'm going to say this specifically because in the place where you are living, politics have become, they were never part of her life. No, they were never part of her life. It was a benefit of her unusual upbringing that there were no politics involved in her life. So when she sees the political things, she sees it more clearly because she had no political, she was not raised around any politics. She saw it from an outside viewpoint, and she continues to see it from an outside viewpoint. And it is being very ramped up to distract you. Those who have controlled you for so long, on all political sides, the concepts of politics, all the political sides, are trying to get you to hold on to this need to fight, to stand up, and to be determined. Right now, dear ones, right now, as your divinity is being realigned to that which it was originally, it is going to go better for you if you do not feed yourself on these political ideas and keep trying to align yourself with them. If you must have something, keep it on the very periphery edges. The very periphery edges. To allow your divinity the quiet that it needs to move you where it needs to move you. Because if you are determined that you are going to look specifically like such, you are such a distorted state, you may not even realize that which you are trying to hold to so strongly is completely out of line with divinity. What is going to be remade is not going to be a slight adjustment of any of the pillars of your society. They're going to dismantle, fall apart. As divinity comes to the fore. And divinity will be the only pillar, the only light. And all that is not in line with divinity is going away. Do not try to find parts of your society that you are sure are more aligned with divinity, because yes, she is seeing this, because she was raised with very specific, strong beliefs that she held to as being truth. And her whole life was molded around this truth. Everything was molded around the truth. And that's how she saw everything. That's what she knew, everything. And then it crumbled and fell away. And in the process, she saw it had all been lies. It had all been control and lies and manipulation. And she saw it. And she had to let it all fall. And she tried to figure, what can I hold on to? Can I hold on to this piece, that? And every time she tried to hold on to a piece of that which she knew, it fell away. The lie of it became evident, and she became disgusted by the lies that she saw there. And repulsed, and she didn't want anything to do with it. She let it go. And what was she going to do? it was everything. It was all the truths that she knew. What was she going to do? And she kept talking and searching and looking, but she was open, testing. And then, because she had always been aligned to truth and kindness and love and fairness, and it started shining through, and we nudged her a little, and we nudged her that way, and we brought her, and it's like, and it opened more and more and more, and see, that was more light. That is what is going to be for everyone. For everyone. And I do not just mean those here on earth. There is going to be, what do they call it? The dark night of the soul. Some will have those dark nights of the souls now. Some will have them in a week, in a month. Some will not be able to go past, exist past their dark night of their souls. They will not. They just will try to only go back and live in that which will not be there. And try to recreate that which will not be there. There's not going to be recreating. There's not going to be going back. It will be very fine for so many to just find the quietness. Just find the quietness and allow this to happen. And it will go much more smoothly for you, because I can assure you that there are many of you who have a perspective on qualities of fair and right and in ideals that were not the ideals of your divinity, but those that were fed to you. And they're not going to remain. And so that it'll be easier for you, just let them fall to the side. Just let them fall away. Be kind. Treat others as you want to be treated. Don't treat them how you think they should be treated, or how things should be. If you were sitting in their place, okay, that is a lovely saying. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But then immediately the person says, well, if I was in their situation, this is what I would do. No, that's not what that means at all. If they are sad, how do you want to be treated when you're sad? How do you want to be treated? And don't push yourself or anyone else to be something that they don't want to be. Okay? Divinity is going to be realigned. And those who have pushed through and asserted themselves over others and made others be and pushed them down and pushed them to the side, and this is the way it's going to be. You're going to do it because they're going to have a harder time. They're going to have a harder time listening to the divinity, because they fight against it too much. She has worries. She is seeing many who have become very hardened recently. Very hardened. And she is saddened by this, because she knows that she actually knows. She sees their paths unfolding before her. And she sees the outcome and the emptiness and the anger and the pain and the fear. and the fighting in their souls. And those you think are the strongest are going to have the hardest time. It's going to be the most difficult. Just be in light. Be in the light. Quiet. Quiet. Find the soul sound for you. Everyone has one, or many, but find the soul sound. It could be a song, or a mantra, or just maybe the sound of the air. Breeze, the frogs, whatever is your soul sound. And go there, and go there, and go there. Turn off the news.